Right, so I'm on my way. I had a job booked in today, but the client cancelled. But they postponed, and so I've got a last minute booked in an EICR. I haven't seen it. I just had the inquiry like last week, and I said, "Oh, I can't fit you in till January, but if there's a cancellation, I'll come and do it." So I'm on my way to it now. So I've not seen it, but I thought it might be a good example for. Not for time served sparks, more for like improvers, apprentices, to show you like the decisions we make. Right, what I was going on to say was, just as a sparky, like we all know, it's not clear cut. There are lots of grey areas and open to interpretation. And I just wanted to show you like. Because I've not seen this board or this install, it's just a 3-bed house, I think. Just the decisions that we have to make initially. Like, when you get to the fuse board, you're constantly, as a sparky, like most of you will know that, but any apprentices or improvers, you get to an install and you're already like you already have to make these decisions. Not necessarily quickly, but you're going through a list in your head and you're like, right, that. We need to look at this, the tails, the board, IP rating, the fuses, the RCD type. We have to make more and more decisions, and we make them quickly. But there's loads, and I can tell, and I know it's confusing. And when you're starting out, there's so much information, and so I'm not going to reel off everything, but I'm going to look at it for the first time, just like you. And I'll quickly, like, off the top of my head, tell you the things that I'm thinking. And not necessarily codes, because we're all very different. Some of us are more stricter, relaxed with codes and certain things, but just the decisions, just the inspections that you make initially, even just before you've even got your tester out, you're sat by the board and you're going right, that, and you've got to process so much stuff as sparkies. I thought that might be interesting for some people, not for everyone, but yeah, let's go and have a look, shall we? So before I've even pulled up, I'm looking, where's the gas, where's the meter? I can see something going on here. Look at that. Down there. Actually, there's a light sensor. So you're already thinking and processing and what you're going to write this down as, what you're going to code it. Just doing my inspections. I spotted some tube in the garage. It's all been disconnected, but fair play. Yeah, it's all been disconnected. This is all dead. That's the thermostat. Don't know what's going on here. That might even be the water bond there. No, that's not water. That looks like flow and return on the radiator pipes. There's a classic air vent wanker. I better check that. I'm just doing my inspections. Someone's done some supplementary bonding, but there's nothing else in here, I don't think. And yeah, I've not found the water, not seen the water bond yet. I've seen the gas. So, but yeah, the water pipe went down the end there, so I'm going to go and look in the house, see if it goes around the front. There's the oven. There's the did spot a stopcock. So if I can, nothing there. If I can, I tend to go round with the client if they're in, just to work smarter rather than harder and get them to point out any sockets and switches, point out anything that would be unreasonable for me not to be aware of, you know. if there's like light switches tucked behind somewhere, or if there's, you know, power or lights in the loft, or any random things that they're aware of, because obviously the homeowner knows their house the most, so you want them to tell you, you know, what's going on, and then you make your engineering judgment on the things that you find. So this is the fuse board. So what am I thinking right now? I'm looking, going, that looks like tar, or the shite that comes out of the head, but TNCS. Tails look 16. The board is plastic, single insulated, cables on show. IP issues up there. Gas is really close. Consumer unit, type AC, RCDs. Kitchen sockets on a 16, it's unusual. Upstairs and downstairs sockets, both on the same RCD, that's unusual. Lighting, probably just as the whole house. IP issues along the top. I can see the gas bonding is there. There's a few other 10 mils in there that might do the water, still yet to find. So yeah, that's what I was saying in the van, is like you're thinking of all these things all in like less than a minute. All these things I've pointed out, and what you have to code them going forward, and making your engineering judgment, your professional judgment on the findings, you know, on what you're looking at, which can be grey sometimes. Which is why I get it, how like so many apprentices and improvers ask questions, not only on this platform but in my DMs and things, but it's not always very clear, and so we should never like hate on people who are asking questions, even if it sounds stupid, because there may be some stupid questions that you might look, or even I might ask about this. Just share out the knowledge, but it's always unique to the installation. Sometimes it's not straightforward. Like you said, in that 1 minute video you just saw, I've pointed out so many things, and you've got to make your judgment and code accordingly. Anyway, let's try and crack on and see what we can see. 63 amp rated RCDs. Another thing I thought I'd mention. It's not looking great. Yeah, let's probably to get this off. Okay. Does look like some old cabling and some new cabling. Suzanne, you alright for me to turn the power off? Yeah, that's fine. It'll only be briefly. Cheers. Just asked permission to turn the power off. Not that formal, as you can tell, but let them know, especially if they're working from home. They're on their laptop, and I've got their got my power bank charging their Wi-Fi at the moment. So yeah, let's have a look with the installation off. Let's look at the Let's look at the leakage, which is across those two there. Look at that, with the installation off, we've got 5-6 milliamps of leakage. 7.2 of leakage. If I go there, I'll go pre the meter, just in case it was reading through the meter, and I think it was a lot of it. Come on, Lawrence, think. So that's a lot better, isn't it? I was measuring it post the meter. Obviously, I was getting something through the meter there. So there you go. Not even that 0 point something milliamps, 8 milliamps. It's hardly anything, is it? It's fuck all. So nothing to worry about. Let's have a look at the bonding. Well, have a look for this rod and check out its bonding. Just quickly, there's got to come a point where you're like, look at the size of those holes. And there's so many. Don't worry, it's all off. There's so many holes. Like, I know sometimes you can go like, oh yeah, I'll put some, which is, to be honest, not my fucking ideal thing, but people put silicone, fire silicone, or conduit box lids, or perhaps some trunking to go like all the way around the outside. But there comes a point where you're like, that's too much, isn't it, in terms of IP rating? That's every fucking knockout's been done, or pretty much every one. And you can get your finger in all the way around, pretty much. Like, there's got to be a point where you go, yeah, it just needs a new enclosure. It's a lot more effort trying to bodge that to make that safe, surely. Anyway, I'll make that decision how I'm going to code, well, later on. Right, done the first R1, R2, which you can tell it's older cabling. It's like the tinned copper, and it looks like someone's added a spur, which goes on there, and I think it does. There's a fridge the other side of there, or two sockets on the right side of the fridge, of the kitchen, and then the older cabling does the other side. Insulation resistance, I've connected the CPCs back in. Or something megohms. Down in. Megohms. On to the next one, which is lights. Recess taps, anyone? Alright, the cooker. I'll make a note of it. It's 2.3 kilowatts. Must be a socket behind there actually. I might have missed that. Later. I'll drop that off. It's a shame it's not got a socket on it because I used my plug adapter. Test the cooker. And then actually I thought I might not show you, but I might forget to show you basically, but you can do like a global insulation resistance test when you've got dual RCD rather than when you've got individual RCBOs, you've got to take them all out, but when you've got dual, you can do a global IR across the bars and stuff a little bit quicker. But doing that, you will always get the lowest value. So if there's something that's holding it down, it will hold all the results down. So you can individually take them out if you need to inspect further or test further. But yeah, you all know what I mean. You don't want me to show you about it. You're all fucking Sparkies. I don't know what you're watching my channel for. Whilst getting the cooker out, I thought I'd just show you. I noticed something. There's looks like a 1.5. There's the twin and earth there, with the live disconnected, but the neutral connected. I think you and I both know what's going on there. Don't you? Quick look behind the cooker. Nothing exciting, but you can see no grommets or anything. Now, is that potentially dangerous? Of course it fucking isn't, but the importance of inspections, it's the reason why I enjoy inspections as well, because it proves you've been there, you've been to that outlet, and you make, you write it down on your certificate, oh yeah, no grommets at, various locations, but it proves you've been there. And people look back, you didn't just do a drive-by EICR, or do it from the van. You actually took stuff off and did what you're supposed to do, did your percentage of inspections and testing and things, or of course, whatever you've agreed. You may agree no inspections, but it's good. I think it's good too. I think it's really good practice. Get into the mindset of dropping things off. I know so many people who don't do it. It amazes me. Well, I made an assumption earlier saying, oh, this is probably all dead and cut off. It wasn't. Oops, shit. That's my reading. I made an assumption that that was all dead, but no, that's still connected. 0.46. There's nothing on the outgoing waves, but this has been live the whole time. It goes through the grill down there. It's live, but doing nothing, so. Yeah, obviously used to do sockets, I think. Lights and sockets and stuff in here. But no longer does that. I think they've had it they had some electrics done when they first moved in, which was like 7 years ago. And the electricians disconnected a load of stuff, which is obviously what they did, and then put in a supply for the boiler. I've dropped it off just because I thought it was this Spur. The garage supply I thought was going to be just the Spur, but I reckon that's off the downstairs sockets now. So I'll make a note of that. So yeah, garage supply was actually that mini DB, which is redundant now, not being used. Right, just going to do the downstairs sockets. .46. As the line is the neutral. 0.46. .36. That seems higher than it should be. Yeah, right. Let's put the links in to our R1, R2s. Work it out and then go around with the plug tester. I've done the calculation. I should be expecting 0.45 at the sockets. R1 plus R2 divided by 4. So let's link them all out. Let's go around with the socket test. Right. Two. 1.26. 87. It's still really high, higher than expected. 87. 52. I'll just quickly show you the importance of finding the correct CPC, or line CPC when you're doing your R1, R2 checks. So this is the correct one. Outgoing line returning CPC 0.37. Now if you put it on the wrong, if you put it on the same one, course, you'll still get continuity. It's a ring final, but so that's on the same line of neutral of each leg. Got a significant difference in resistance values. Right, so this RCD fuse spur. This RCD fuse spur, obviously off the downstairs ring final, spurred off. It's only one cable in, it goes round, up, along, down, and then there's a fuse spur down there. So comes out, adaptable box, armoured cable. It's all live and comes to there. That is an armoured cable, I believe. Yeah, that's the inner sheath. Disconnected. Mains light. Note that down. Quick inspection of the sockets. Oh, well, that's immediately unsatisfactory. There's no bond on that back box. I'm gonna have to go and that's serious. I'm gonna have to go and tell her. Never a good sign when you got wood screws screwing the switch back. Classic. Is there another there? Is it dropped down? Can't quite tell. I think I can see in this light. Yeah, there's earth there, it's just been chopped out. I think it does that all right there. What are we going to code that? Conductor's not adequately enclosed. 0.04. What would you do? I found gas bonding, that's easy. Gas protective bonding. There's only one other 10mm, which does go under the floor, shoots that way. I've had the board up. I can't physically see, and I've been everywhere. I've been under each sink, I've been in the garage under the boiler, and all I can find is one stopcock. I cannot see or verify the clamp or where the bond is, the other end of the 10mm. Can obviously get under this liner. I've done it on the pipework. As soon as it comes up from the floor, see, it just comes straight up from the floor over there and onto the pipe, and I got 0.04. In the garage under the boiler, it's all like piddly 2.5mm coming from the wiring centre and supplementary bonds. There's no 10mm. So what do you do? What do you code it as?